This is Pointstreak Performance. This is how to perform your initial setup for your Pointstreak Performance account. Team admins will be provided with their login and password information. Once logged in, you can start using your team account. The first thing you will see when you log into your team account is your team information page. You have the ability to upload different kinds of logos simply by clicking on the select files, selecting your team logo, and then clicking upload file. Your logo will appear at the bottom, and that will appear on your team dashboard. You can also select your team roles. You have the ability to create different kinds of roles for each individual players. To do that, simply click on Add Roles. A separate box will then open up, and you'll have the ability to create those different roles for your team, whether it's goalie, forward, or any other positions that you have on your organization. You enter in your abbreviation, and then you can select your stats preset. Those stats preset will be available for you once you set them up in your team page. To be able to set up your team stats, you go to your team stats page, and you can add your stats set. You can always edit the stat set itself simply by putting the name of that stat set and then clicking the save button. You can then go in and drag and drop all the different stats metric that is already available for you in Performance. Teams also have the ability to create their own metrics for stats. Simply clicking Add Metric, putting on the name of that specific stats, and then the abbreviation. These stats will then appear in the player profile. You can always edit everything that is done inside of your team page. You can also delete different kinds of stat metrics that's already set up in the Performance account. This is how you'd be able to set up a player inside of Performance. All you need to do is click on Add Athlete, put in the player's name, email address, and you can either provide him with a password or you can have it auto-generated by the system so that the player can then go in and edit his password himself. You would put in a jersey number and the positions. The positions will be the ones that you've attributed inside of the Team Manage page with the player roles. Once you click Add, that player will have access to the Performance account. That player will also have the ability to create himself a player resume. To be able to create a stat set for the upcoming season, all you would need to do is click on Library, click on the Team Library, and you would go to the sporting event, and you would create a season in the sporting event for this season. All the stats that are created will then appear under the 2015 season. You would then go back to your athletes, select that specific player, and then you can start populating his biography and all the information that you want to appear on the first page of his resume. You click on the edit button, and then you would put in all the information that is needed: the height, weight, date of birth, anything that you created inside of Performance. Once that information is in, you can start populating the stats portion of the athlete bio. As you can see, the default settings for the stats is the 2015 season. So you can start populating the different boxes for the stats itself. Once it's done, once all the information is in, all you need to do is click Save. And that information would appear on the player bio. You can then start populating the different information in the player resume, such as player info, or personal information, academic information, and transcripts and documents. In your personal information, you can add all the contact information for that specific player. Once you are done, all you would need to do is click Save, and that information would appear in your personal info. All the information can then be made private or public. Same process would apply for the academic info. All you need to do is click on the Edit button, adding all the information that is needed for the academics of that athlete. And then you would click Save and either make this information public or private. For transcripts and documents, you can upload different kinds of transcripts and documents for that specific athlete, whether GPA, high school transcripts, or any other documents that he might see fit to be in his resume. All you need to do is click on the Upload,